Welcome on inside Darling Pavilion, everyone. Justin Burtis here with JJ Johnson here on the GSAC Sports Network and the Hope Royals Sports Network, as well as we bring you what will be the championship bout here in the 2022-2023 men's basketball GSAC tournament. It has been a ride over the past 2 days as OUAZ, they ended up tied in the standings, but were the fifth seed against Westmont, pulled off a 20-point win, 93-73, to advance to the very first game of the tournament before Hope International, the de facto host, won 68-64 as the 3 seed beat one of the almost GSAC champions last year, as the Jessup Warriors came oh so close to a tournament crown last year. They bow out this year in the first game. The Royals then held off the Masters Lake as Jelani Horn made a huge block to preserve a 78-75 win to power the hosting Royals into the championship matches. Meanwhile, OUAZ the Spirit had to once again take on interstate rival Arizona Christian, and unfortunately the Firestorm came up short as the number 1 seed again bowed out earlier than they wanted to in this Golden State Athletic Conference tournament, losing 76-66 to bring us to a matchup between the Spirit and the Royals. The Royals enter this one with an overall record 28-9, and so do the Spirit. It was the Royals finishing third in the conference at 11-7, with the Spirit behind them at 10-8. JJ Johnson, this one's got a lot of drama entering this one. The Spirit, once again, hot in the tournament. They're the defending champs. They know what it takes to get a win on this court. They did so last year. The Royals haven't won a conference tournament since 2015, but they have been locked in as this season has come to an end.
Absolutely. The Royals have absolutely been locked in here down the stretch, similar to what we saw out of the Spirit actually last year. But you mentioned Ottawa knows what to do on this court. They've done it before in last year's GSAC championship, but they've yet to win here this year after Hope took the season series in a sweep. So certainly going to be interesting to see how that fares tonight, what adjustments Coach Keeley has made heading into tonight's matchup. On paper, I mean, you look at the talent that both sides have, but just based off how many turnovers, we'll get into some of the stats later, but on paper, it's looking like Hope should be the favorites tonight.
Yeah, Hope ended up taking the matchup at OUAZ 81-74. That one was a bit closer as OUAZ led 3 times in that one, but only by a point, and a 16-6 Royals run at the 10-minute mark in the second half proved to be the difference. And here in Darling Pavilion in the regular season, well, there wasn't much to write home about if you are a Spirit fan. 91-69 was the final score as the Spirit turned it over 22 times, shooting only 35% from the field. It was a 17-5 start for the Royals. They led by 20 and more. The biggest lead was 27 in the second half. The Spirit did cut it to 5, but that was early in the first half. For the tournament, the top 2 scorers are going tonight as Jelani Horn enters with 36 points for the Royals, 15-24, but he has yet to make a 3 in this tournament. Meanwhile, for the Spirit, it is Bruner leading the way with 37 points. He is 12 of 19. If you're the Spirit, JJ, what are you trying to do with this? You could call it a run and gun offense, but certainly they like to increase the tempo.
Well, we've been talking about it all tournament where there's really no rhyme or reason to their half-court offense, but they've really thrived in transition as well. We saw that. That was part of the reason why they were able to get back in the game against Jessup when they turned up the pressure. But, I mean, it's got to start with Jelani Horn. He really abused his matchups yesterday that he had. Whenever the Star Brothers were matched up against him, it was Horn going to work. So I think you've got to limit him early. You can't allow him to shoot 80% from the floor like he did yesterday. So it's really got to start with him. Obviously, you got to worry about Charles Nino. He's shown all season long that he can make shots in big spots. But we also got a chance to talk to Coach Keeley before the game. He said he understands the challenge that Hope International presents in terms of their defensive principle and keeping the ball sided and where they're attacking from. But while they try to figure that out, he understands that they just have to make Hope miss shots on the offensive end themselves. So it should be a fun one to watch here in the opening 5 minutes. Is really going to be a key for the Ottawa Spirit if they want to be in this one.
Yeah, Bill Check talking to me before the game said they want to play their game and make the Spirit play their way for the entire contest. They did so in especially the game here at Darling Pavilion during the regular season. We'll see if they can replicate that. There's also a bit of momentum for the Royals. They've got the home crowd that is still filtering in here on a Saturday night in Fullerton, California. And especially after last year where they had a couple of big names who've been with the program for a long time, he said it would mean the world for them to win the tournament. We'll take a break for the prayer and national anthem and be back with starting lineups. And we'll go for the starting lineups. And first, we'll go for the Hope Royals, who are wearing the white uniforms with the dark blue lettering and numbering. Coached by Bill Check in his 14th season. John Jansen is in his first season. Coach Check enters this one with an overall record of 259 and 164 entering tonight's conference. Number 3 is Washit Wilson, a 6'3 junior from Lake Worth, Florida. Will be joined at number 4 of a guard senior from Palm Springs, California, Charles Neal. Number 21, Sebastian Castro, a 6'4 guard from Anaheim, California, out there with Jelani Horn. Number 22, the junior forward is from Santa Ana, California, and of Mission Viejo, California, the forward of sophomore, number 35, Tristan Williams. On the flip side, the Spirit will once again be wearing the all-orange with the deep maroon numbering and white outline. Will be Matt Keeley coaching this side. He has been the only coach for the Spirit in their program's history, and he has helped them achieve a plus 80 win record now in program history. Number 3, Colton Hitt, the 6'4 senior guard out of Malta, Idaho, gets the start along with number 5, Devin Collins, a senior from Aurora, Colorado. The forward will be joined by number 10, Alex Veely, the guard, the sophomore out of Fresno, California. While number 23, Keyshawn Bruner, the senior guard, stands 6'2 out of Sacramento, California. Number 35, Josiah De La Cerda, the Fresno native, a senior forward who will have a lot to say in this one. JJ, any other thoughts as the teams are finishing out their introductions?
It's going to be whoever wins the turnover battle tonight. I mean, whenever you're talking about turning the ball over 22 times in the last matchup between the two teams, that's what Ottawa had, and they allowed 33 points off turnovers. You can't win a game playing that poorly in terms of taking care of the ball. So whoever wins the turnover battle tonight is going to win this game.
It will be an interesting one. Again, 22 turnovers by the Spirit. The last time these two teams met, they for sure will want to avoid a repeat of that. For the tournament, OUAZ shooting 53% from the floor, 45.6% from beyond the arc, and 76.1% from the free throw line. Meanwhile, the Royals, 44.9% from the floor, only 35.1% from downtown, and 73% from the free throw stripe. Coach Keeley, by the way, 89 and 77 all-time now as a coach of the Spirit side that entered 5 years ago into the GSAC. First 2 years, they're not eligible for the postseason dance as they were getting accustomed to playing here in the Golden State Athletic Conference. But it has been the past 2 years they've made it. They won it last year. They're looking to make it twice in a row here tonight. The Spirit will be going right to left across your screen. The Royals left to right. And don't worry if you're a Royals fan, if you have the women's game up as well, we'll be keeping tabs on both of these games here tonight. Tip to the De La Cerda, ends up going the Royals' way, though. Charles Neal takes possession, and HIU will have the first attack at the basket. And around it comes to Washit Wilson, drives, partially blocked, pushed wide, but finish. As Sebastian Castro down low is able to poke it home to open the scoring.
Yeah, the best offense in the GSAC for the Hope International Royals. And you can't lose Veely back on the other end.
First 3 of the night, no, and a rebound. Held down by Tristan Williams. A open look. You said he got hot in the last game.
Yes, absolutely. Tristan Williams was doing work. They went right at the matchup on the inside. They went at Lowry as well. They went at Ojai as well. So certainly going to be interesting to see if they can go at De La Cerda as a near turnover.
Flipped out, and a 3. Tristan Williams, no! But a big long rebound that Castro was able to find, as it was a little over the head there of Veely. Wilson back to the top of the arc. Takes it back, 8 on the shot clock. Zips it at the near blocks. Pivoting, Horn, baseline jumper, no. Rebound.
That's going to be a fun matchup tonight between Collins and Horn, two of the better athletes this conference has to offer.
That was a strong one from number 5. Hit to De La Cerda, and the Spirit looking for their first bucket. Keyshawn Bruner, leading scorer in the tournament so far, goes up, no foul, and it lands in the hands of Tristan Williams. Plenty of white jerseys in the paint that time.
Absolutely, and that's going to play right into the hands of the Royals as Neal comes back the other way, can't get it to go.
That was a tough shot. Good positioning by Veely. Right down, forcing him to the baseline paint. Colton Hitt, opening triple, still can't find it. Can the Spirit? And Neal, who's denied at one end, picks up the rebound at the other. To Castro. All the way around to Neal. Jelani Horn! There's your first three of the night. And it's the Royals who come out to a 5-0 start, and that's exactly what you were saying Coach Keeley did not want to have happen.
Yeah, he talked about he wanted to play with a lead. He understands that even though no lead is safe against the Royals, he understands that there's going to be a lot more opportunity for success playing with the lead. Obviously, he understood that shots aren't going to fall early as De La Cerda misses his first three on the night.
He was pretty good on the season. Doesn't take a lot, but hits at a high rate as the big man has found a stroke from deep as the year has gone on. Castro. Wilson takes the screen, gets to the free throw line. No, too strong off the back of the iron, and another rebound for Devin Collins.
Coach Keeley will be fine with his offense finding his groove. He mentioned as much to me where he's like, hey, we're going to take time finding our groove within this offense right now, but what we have to ensure is that Hope does not get hot themselves. And quickly a 5-0 lead. There's certainly no time to panic, but you certainly got to, make sure that you can keep getting stops here early until you can get that zero off the board.
De La Cerda didn't really have much to work with, but does get it to Collins on the inbound. Almost a tip of deflection. 6, now 5 on the shot clock. For Veely, turns and no. Offensive rebound though. Bruner, hook shot. That's in, and we're off and running in this one as the Spirit finally got on the board. It's a 5-2 game. Entering the building now, Josh Powell-Davis, who's been a part-time volunteer assistant for the Royals. He could not win a tournament here. I'm sure he would love to see this Royals side win as this is up. Castro, no good. Gets the rebound, does the Royals, and Castro finishes on the second effort.
Yeah, but why is JPD showing up late? Come on now. You knew what time the game was going to start. It's a championship game.
Colton hit with a pump fake. He's coming over to the bench to join the squad. Down low and up. Collins denied, no foul. That was a contested effort with Castro as well as Wilson in the area. The first team foul will go to Castro for his first personal. Just about 4 minutes gone. Free throws for Devin Collins. And you can't find it. Collins entered the night as a 69.7% shooter, 69 of 99. First sub will go to Ottawa. As out comes Veely, and in comes Jace Catchings. Guard, a junior from St. Louis, Missouri. And also entering will be McKay Bundy, the 6'5 senior from Modesto. A forward will take out Collins. And also in will be number 13 as his first appearance of the night, Josh Rivers, the graduate guard of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. He had some go moments in that Westmont game.
Absolutely. And he also had some great moments in that ACU game when ACU really tried to turn up the pressure defensively. It was Rivers' show as Horn, nice turnaround shot there. Had some good moments breaking the press. I mean, there was a second there where ACU cut the deficit to 6 after the 20-point ball game. Offensive foul there.
It will be a charge as Colton hit, headed towards the near side blocks, walked up his man, and that will be cause for the first team foul on Ottawa, his first as well. Castro and Jelani Horn, the two all-conference players for the Royals. Meanwhile, De La Cerda and Keyshawn Bruner, the all-conference nods for OUAZ.
Saw yesterday in the ACU game for Ottawa where both offenses were really slow getting underway. Turnover there a little bit too hot for Williams to handle. Both offenses yesterday were a little slow getting going, but then it was really Veely who ignited the offense. 8 3-pointers in the first half for him in that one. So obviously it just takes one shot for it to fall. Obviously no time to panic. And go back to the Horn set here.
McKay Bundy gives it to Hit. Well, Faints are moving the women's game a little faster. It's HIU 13, Menlo 12 up in Atherton as Rivers, almost a tie-up, no jump ball. Bundy, near blocks, pump once, twice. Will they count it? Yes, sir, they will. And one coming up for number 11 in the Spirit. Go for a three-point play on a couple of good fakes there by number 11.
Yeah, just about to say Bundy did a good job understanding the scout, but Horn also responded well, understanding the scout, understanding like Bundy likes to shot fake when he gets in the lane, so he didn't bite on the first one. Then Bundy knew that Horn likes a block shot, so he went with a second pump fake, converting three-point play here. So nice little mental warfare going on there between the two sides.
If at first you don't succeed, try again, and Bundy did. Made the free throw. One possession game at 9-6. 5 minutes gone here in the first half. No turnover as it comes back to Neil Castro with a pump fake of his own. Kicks. Horn to Tristan Williams. 3 off the mark. Hustle play. It's out of bounds. As Rasheed Wilson almost dove into the Ottawa bench, but a burst of speed from him. That's what you want to see in that championship matchup.
Absolutely. And you expect to see a lot more of those plays throughout the day. We mentioned catchings yesterday. Collins was in a bit of foul trouble for the Spirit side, but it was catchings who really carried the hustle plays for the Spirit en route to their victory.
Lacerda, can he get going? Yes, he can. Far blocks, turns, banks it in.
Certainly has the height advantage as well over Williams, so even though his first shot of the game was that 3-ball, he can dominate inside a little bit on those post-ups. I know we talked about it before the game in terms of how Ottawa should attack this side defense. Might involve a lot of post touches for De La Cerda, inviting the double team because he can survey over the top of some of the shorter defenders.
Entered the the tournament did De La Cerda, third in the conference in total points scored. 3 Williams, bounces off of everything but doesn't fall. Rivers directs some traffic. On the deck, the flip right into the path of Tristan Williams, who will offload. Charles Neal squares up, fires a 3 off the iron. Offensive rebound is batted from Williams to Horn, and that's an easy make for number 22. 11-8. The Royals on top in this one. Bundy to Rivers. Hesitation. De La Cerda, second 3. Makes this one. He's 50% on the night. And we're at a level at 11.
Coach Keeley mentioned it's going to take a little while for them to get into the flow. Now, after that Bundy and one, I mentioned yesterday was Veely's 3-ball who really got them going, as they're going to try to isolate Castro on the block here.
Entered the night shooting 50% from downtown, 45 of 90 to De La Cerda. Neal with a pop-up and a jumper that's good. Falling away from the basket in an extreme angle, is able to shoot it right down the twine.
Yeah, that box set, anytime they call power out of the box set, they're trying to isolate Castro on the block. Catching's going to try his hand at a 3-ball here, unable to do that. But really, it's such a good set for Hope International, because if you want to clamp down like the Spirit just did, easy kick out to Neal, gets his mid-range jump shot going.
Johnny Horn sent to the near side. Over the top, Castro doesn't need a dribble, turns, pivot, score. Power move for a guy that's not necessarily a down low center.
No, but he plays at his own pace. We saw a lot of that yesterday.
Rivers, this way now that. Wilson D'ing him up. Around to Colton, hit, 3, far side, count it! And we'll take a timeout as we have a plethora of subs. 12:15 to go, and it's a 1-point game. And this feels a little different here, JJ, than the game that was here in Fullerton in the regular season. Third time, though, between the schools. How hard is it when you play a team that extra time after going the home and away?
Well, it's certainly difficult. Obviously, I've only had the 1 year of experience here with the GSAC tournament last year, where we played Ottawa in that opening round match, and they were a buzzsaw at that point. But we split the regular season with them. I can only imagine how hard it is to beat a team 3 times in one season come conference tournament time. So Hope, they've got their work cut out for them. Obviously, they should have confidence, understanding, hey, we beat these guys twice. No reason we can't go do it a third time. But the Spirit, hey, we've seen your best act already this season, and I think the Spirit got to feel like, hey, we think we've got you guys figured out. So certainly difficult, but both sides certainly feel that they have the advantage.
And the Royals shot 54.2% and then 55.2% against Ottawa in both games during the regular season. They have Caleb Christopher, the 6'1 junior guard out of Carson, into the contest, as well as Gavin Ramirez, a 6'7 forward, a junior from Corona, California. Meanwhile, Veely, Bruner, and Collins back on for the Spirit, joining Catchings and Bundy. Neal with a nice little show. And throws into the bench as he was putting it right between Christopher and Castro. Neither of them could get to it. So turnover, and the Spirit looking to capitalize. Plenty of time on the shot clock. 2 on each side. Veely down to the baseline as Bruner catches. Couldn't get a clean step back. Veely finds the gap of space and collects a three-point shot. Great little move to create that narrow opening. Neal with a solid spin move at the other end. Ramirez, Castro, no dice on the bounce shot. And that pendulum swinging back to the Spirit here in the past minute or two. Bruner, wide open, 3, 2 in a row, and it's Catchings this time. And after Coach Keeley takes a timeout, it's Coach Bill Check that wants to take a pause and talk things over.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the danger. We saw that a couple times yesterday, and even one time against Jessup, where what happens when you have a paired side with the wing in the corner fill, you have the wing cut through on a 45 cut, and then the corner fills. What Hope International does a lot is they just switch that. They bump it out, and whoever was the low guy takes the cutter who's going through. But there's been a couple times where there's been a miscommunication on that, and that they both go with the cutter and leaves a wide open guy on the wing. So they got to just settle back in. They did a good job both those other games of settling back in and remembering that they just have to talk it out. So just a little maintenance time out here. Make sure that no big run gets off and running here for the Spirit.
The Ottawa team now is shooting 57.1% from deep, 4 of 7, while the Royals have made just 1 of their 5. And Menlo's taking a 22-20 lead in the women's final. Being played up in Atherton. Couple huge games yesterday in that one. As we were talking before the broadcast here, Jay, what a day for basketball on a Friday night.
Oh, yeah, yesterday was a great day. I mean, between college basketball and NBA, but it even carried over to earlier this afternoon when we saw Florida State with an incredible 25-point comeback and a buzzer beater win. And Arizona State hit a 60-foot shot at the buzzer to knock off Arizona, boost their NCAA D1 tournament resume.
Here's Bruner. 3, that's a long one, no, as Veely can't get that, but an offensive rebound for Catchings. Veely back into the fray and a bump foul as Bundy trying to worm his way around Christopher. 3rd team foul and his first personal. Sideline play for the Spirit. Now the winner of this will get the automatic tournament championship bid to the NAIA dance. The Firestorm with the regular season automatic berth. One would like to think the Royals, as that will be a travel as Bruner called for taking an extra step around the hot defense of Wilson.
Yeah, it was really good defense, but that one's actually going to be on Collins. Obviously Bruner takes the turnover, but it was because Collins didn't move on the backside. He allowed one guy to guard 2. Obviously, he wanted to get to the set, but as Bruner was staring down the post more and more, Collins had to move as a Ramirez, nice lay-in.
Good end around on a roll off a screen. Rivers is going to set up with Dale Sturter at the scorer's table for the orange-clad Spirit. Driving, Veely through traffic, and scores. Nice little sachet from right to left, and he's up and in. It's 22-17, 9.5 to go. Wilson. Gavin Ramirez sets a screen now. And trying to finish. Christopher, no. Strong rebound as Horn was canceled out of that entirely. Slight numbers here for the Spirit, 4 on 2, but the Royals recover. Can they? Catchings unloads a 3 far wing. And it's going to be another timeout for Bill Check as the Spirit have a run. And they lead 25-17 with 9:09 left in this first half. That was another big 3. And now all of a sudden, JJ, if this team finds their 3 ball, is that going to be something that proves to be a difference? They didn't shoot that well from deep in the 2 games against Hope International. Only 34% and then 17% here at Fullerton. Could that be a difference maker?
Well, I mean, absolutely, man. You mentioned the game here at Fullerton. Shot 5 of 29 from deep. I mean, they only made a total of 14 3-pointers across the 2 games that they played. So already off to a pretty good start in this one. they can spread them out, and all of a sudden that opens up bigger driving lanes, because every time they've driven, or at least they did in the first 4 minutes of the game, there was nothing really open. They were able to clamp and recover. So the more you can spread them out, I mean, that goes against any defense. The more you can spread them out, the more you can knife your way inside. And it's kind of, the old saying used to be play inside out, but now you see a lot. There's some teams that have the philosophy of playing outside in, where the 3-ball opens up your interior. So could be interesting to see how this one works for them.
Why establish the run when you can establish the pass? Is down low, driving. Tristan Williams has to back out. Castro closed out nicely by Veely. Gets around him, though, and a good little scoot and score for number 21. To answer the point barrage there from the Spirit. 25-19 now. Hit. De La Cerda. Veely. And a wide open Devin Collins was looking for an and one. This time he'll go to the line for 2. And it will be the 4th team foul on the Royals. It will be the first personal on Kevin Ramirez. Collins, no good. Veely coming out, and Rivers into the game, or excuse me, Colton Hitt returns to the game. So Hitt, De La Cerda, Rivers, Collins, and Catchings. Neal, as that one falls. Neal, Ramirez, Wilson, Castro, and Williams out there for the Royals as Jelani Horn sits on the bench for now. Good feed, Castro in despite some traffic, and the defensive swat might have clipped Catchings there. He's shaking his face a little bit. Castro's coming to life here, Mr. Johnson.
Absolutely, and he's a guy we talk about all the time, playing at his own pace. I mean, everything he does just coming off right there. Usually something has like a little shimmy. There's a turnover there by Collins. Something has a shimmy in it or a little hezzy. But this time, he just had no, as you see, another little hesitation move right there.
Creates a lane. Williams gets too deep to take a shot and then gives it into the arm span of De La Cerda, who's canceling out Gavin Ramirez. Catchings. Couldn't catch and shoot. Around the horn it goes. Back to him. This time winds up. Makes a pass. Collins, a bounce pass. Triple team. Still finds a way to drop it home. Hard-nosed basketball there and quick ball movement from the Spirit. Neal, spin move. That's a good trick. Gets it back off the screen. Couldn't take a 3. 12 on the shot clock. 10. Ramirez against Collins. Back to Neal with 7. With 6 on the shot clock. Air ball. Stays here with 3 on the shot clock. And McKay Bundy will re-enter the fray as the Spirit will take out Collins, and Horn comes back on for the Royals. Three seconds, JJ. 2 or 3?
I think if you can get Castro into his mid-range jump shot right here, you can go with that.
Try and cut the difference and go to Horn or Williams. Instead, it's right to De La Cerda. Hit. Rivers. Catching. Slings it. Quick around the perimeter for the Spirit side. De La Cerda catching into the corner. Rivers. Let's fire. No good. Offensive rebound. No go. Wow, Bundy came out of nowhere flying through the sky. Couldn't get the putback to fall. Wilson, that's a 3 if it's good, but it's not. And Rivers settles it. 6:20 to go, 28-21. Touch pass. Rivers through the defense here. There's that trap you were talking about in the zone. Worked out of by the Spirit. Rivers doesn't shoot. Hit wants it in the near corner. Now Rivers is caught, one of the shortest guys out there. Finds an outlet, 3, Catchings, no. Rebound, Jelani Horn.
Mentioned the trap. One of the things that we kind of talked about in the pregame is, hey, late in this game, you might want to invite the trap, but what you do is whoever Horn is guarding and whoever Neal is guarding, you make sure that those two guys are involved where, let's say it's Horn on the backside so that he's the one that's going to trap as Wilson drives and kicks to the corner.
Williams for three, off the crook of the basket.
But as long as you make sure, because Neal and Horn are two of your better interceptors on the inside, Hit can't get it to fall. Two of your better interceptors on the backside. So what you do is you put them in the trap so that they can't read eyes and shoulders and make a play on the backside as foul is called here. So maybe later in the game, if this game gets close, which at this point it probably will, draw something up there.
Fouls on Catchings, his first. Team's second, I believe. Yes, team's second. We'll put Charles Neal at the line. Neal on the season, 51 of 69. Round up, give him 74%, makes the first. Trio of subs in for the Spirit, and Ramirez in for Wilson. Lucky for Charles Neal, looked like he traveled getting down the middle of the paint there. I guess the final one was the follow-through on the foul. Right foot forward, straight stroke, and two up on the board for Neal, 28-23 with 5:10 to go here first half. And around, jump stop, kick, Bundy, Bruner, Veely for three, no. And Neal's right there. Survey of the field ahead of him. Veely's man-to-man with him. Horn working against Bruner, working towards the far side, now has it. Ramirez, pump, drive, layup, good. That cuts it to 3 points at 28-25. Bruner. Veely. Comes back towards midway. And pivots. Shuffles down low. Reverse layup. That's nice for McKay. Bundy around the defense and up and off the window.
Yeah, interesting there because usually the double team comes. The problem was because Bundy was so deep and so close to the baseline, there was no baseline double teams. Neal starting to get going a little bit now. But Bundy was just going to spin back baseline because he knew that the help was already there.
Good shot from Neal, and hand in his face as well. Lucky that wasn't a potential 4-point play as Veely in a 2-point game. Collins. Bruner. Castro's done well on him so far. Keeps him to his left side, tries to go up, no. And a rebound for Williams. That looks like a scouting report defensive move right there. As Ramirez puts it up, and a charge will be called as Bundy was outside the restricted arc and gets taken down.
We took 3 of them yesterday. I mean, starting to wear a hole in his chest right now. Many charges he's taken over the past 24 hours, but see Rivers check back in along with De La Cerda.
Well, that's what it's called for, right? To win one of these things?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I know a lot of people, I know how my mom feels whenever I take a charge and get on the floor, so I can imagine how his parents are feeling right now. Obviously, pleased that they get the charge, but every time it falls down, just like, oh, please be okay when you get up.
And that will be a 3. Veely, air ball, and that's interesting. Rivers was on the baseline. That's what Bill Check is saying as the ball pinballed off of him and Castro. 12 on the shot clock. So the Spirit get a break right there. And the wood is not forgiving. That will stay here as that was Jelani Horn trying to make a steal. Finished second in the conference in the regular season, entering the night. Second in total points scored. His team was first in steals, by the way, the Royals, in the GSAC. Entering the night as Rivers with 6, 5 on the shot clock. Veely from the GSAC logo far side gets the rim, and Bruner will reset the shot clock with an offensive rebound. Lays it up to number 23, counted and one. And that's going to be the second on Jelani Horn, team 6, unless they're going to call it on Ramirez, that's his third. He will come out. Wilson comes in. 32-28, 4-point game with 2:57 remaining here in the first frame. Up and good for Bruner. Royals back in the lead on the women's side, 33-32, with 2 minutes left to go in the first half in the women's championship game. So 2 close ones. What else would you want here on Championship Saturday in GSAC basketball? Neal, Wilson. 2-2 as Williams finds a gap in the lane and can't finish too strong. Bruner, De La Cerda. Feely wants to go right. Horn made him stuck. Rivers. De La Cerda, he made one already. He's now 1 for 3 as Neal has the rebound.
That was his spot the first 2 days, but now probably going to have to shift over to top of the key. That's where he hit the first one rather than the left wing.
Jelani Horn, 3, no good. De La Cerda holds on. Here comes Bruner, under 2 to go in the half. Bruner drives. That will be an offensive foul as Neal put his feet down, and Bruner lowered the shoulder into him. He wants an explanation. He seems to accept the call from the referee as he picks up his first third team foul in the half. Colton hit back on for him. Well, the Royals in a bit more of a interesting foul situation early, but a lot of those, half of them on Ramirez. Williams.
There's that power set out of the box.
And 1. Counted as Castro collects the airmail, waits a minute, puts it up, and gets the foul called, and his free throw could make it a 2-point game as he stares down the basket.
The Masters actually did a great job defending that yesterday, where they were able to show help but then also recover. They were really, we talked about it with Jared yesterday, a big cat and mouse game between whoever had the ball and whoever that help side defender was. Hey, am I going to go guard my guy or am I in the help? So you really didn't know, but that time it was just too easy. Everyone chased their guy.
Well, the fake worked again for the Royals, and that makes it 33-31 for Rivers. And Williams matched up here. Horn is on Colton hit. Wilson went for the steal, couldn't come up with it. Veely, Collins. At the free throw line trap, but for a moment, Rivers with 9, 8 on the shot clock, 7. Goes through almost the entire defense for Collins, who's there to finish. Patience and a lot of steps there for Rivers. I'll say that's one aside now. Thought Neal got away with one earlier. Now Rivers might have slid his way through travel.
Back to the power set here, getting the ball inside to Castro.
Backing in at the blocks, turns one way and then the other, and finishes high off the glass.
Playing at his own pace. Right now, Ottawa's got to change how they're guarding that. You saw the coaching staff trying to yell and communicate what the defensive assignment should have been, but didn't work.
20-second difference between shot and game clock. Is that almost a steal, but Collins gets the pass. Hit took a spill behind the play. Here's De La Cerda, far wing. No. And Wilson, rebound. Shot clock turns off. The Royals, down by 2, can tie or take the lead, depending upon what they want to draw up here on the final possession of the first half. It's Neal against Colton hit. We'll give it a few more seconds before they really start going through the paces. Neal turns the corner with 8, now 7. Williams unloads the 3, partially blocked by De La Cerda, who's running the other way. Pass comes to him with 2, with 1. What a turn of events at the buzzer. A block and then a layup for 35. Cancels out a lead for the Royals and puts the Spirit ahead by 4 entering the locker room.
Run and gun for both sides. We saw it more so in the first 10 minutes of the game from Hope. But that second 10, I'd say, belonged really to the Spirit.
And it was kind of the middle stages they took over, and then kind of 50-50 over the final 10 minutes or so, both sides of some runs to keep it a manageable lead. Nothing near double-digit lead for either side as of yet, but it's a 4-point Spirit lead entering halftime. 37-33, Ottawa on top, with 20 more minutes to come. We'll take a break here on the GSAC Sports Network, come back with some halftime stats. We'll see if GSAC Commissioner Mike Daniels comes up. And just another check. It's also halftime in Atherton, and it's Hope 40, Menlo 37 as the Royals try and make it a double here on Championship Saturday in Golden State Athletic Conference basketball. Welcome back to Darling Pavilion, everyone. Justin Burtis, JJ Johnson. First half stats for you now. OUAZ, 14 of 31 from the floor, 45.2%, 5 of 16 from deep, 31.3%, 4 of 6 from the free throw line. The Royals, perfect 3 of 3 from the charity stripe, 2 of 11 though from downtown, it's 18.2%, 14 of 32 from the field for 43.8% clip. 4 turnovers to 3 with the Royals at 4. That resulted in 8 Spirit points. 3 turnovers for Ottawa resulted in 4 HIU points. Rebound battle is very close. 18-17 in lead for the Spirit. 5-5 offensive, 13-12 defensive. Meanwhile, 7 assists to 6 for Ottawa leads that as well. Steals are even at 2 apiece. De La Serna has 3 of 6 from the field, 7 points, including a 3. Devin Collins, 6 points, including 2 free throws, 6 points, 2 of 4 shooting, both of them being from downtown for Jace Catchings, 5 points each for Veely, Bundy, and Bruner, 3 for Colton Hitt, his only conversion on the night from downtown. 15 points, Sebastian Castro is 7 of 9 from the field, including a free throw. He also has 4 rebounds. Doubling up the rest of the Royal lineup is Neal and Horn, each has 7 points. Gavin Herrera is the only other player to score. He's got 4. Rasheed Wilson, Caleb Christopher, and Tristan Williams all with a goose egg on the board, J.J. Johnson. What do the Royals have to do here in the second half to find their flow again?
Well, I think they got to keep giving the ball to Castro, first of all. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So you keep going to him as he's leading the way with 15 points. But also understand that some of these other guys got to start contributing. I mean, I think the real shocker for us is Rasheed Wilson only having 0 points and only, I believe it is, 4 shot attempts for him. I mean, obviously, got to get him going a little bit more here. I mean, in the previous matchup, I mean, he had 18 points and 6 assists. That was game 1 at Faith Arena. So, obviously, he's capable of scoring. But keep giving the ball to Castro in the meantime. I expect Ottawa will probably change how they're guarding the power set that Hope has out of their box. But in the meantime, they got to, just find the balance, stop turning the ball over as well. I mean, it's no shocker. We talked about it at the top where whoever's going to win the turnover battle of this game is going to win, and Ottawa won the turnover battle in the first half, and they have the lead. So not by a big margin, though. It was just 4-3 in terms of the turnovers, but certainly got to make sure that those get bottlenecked right now if you're going to have any chance in the second half.
Williams entered the night with 35 points in this tournament, so a 0 right now, a bit off the pace for him. Meanwhile, but Castro at 27, he's almost doubled that here in just one half. The Spirit in the orange now going left to right. The Royals in the white going right to left here in the men's tournament final. Starters out, and that's a turnover by Collins. Just like that, the turnover margin comes back the other way, as does number 3. Wilson is on the board.
Literally everything that we just talked about right now, the turnovers and then getting Wilson on the board.
Bruner caught up in the defense of Wilson. Now Colton Hitt, dribbles into trouble, backs out. Veely, that's a friendly fire turnover as Collins knocked it out of his way. Jelani Horn all the way to Williams, and number 35 has scored as both players who had 0 to end the half opened the half with a 4-0 run to tie things at 37-37.
Right on cue. Well, we literally just talked about it between Tristan Williams. He needed to get going a little bit, the supporting cast. And then you have the first 2 buckets after getting rid of that goose egg. And then the turnovers, back-to-back turnovers. All of a sudden now it's Hope winning the turnover battle just like that within the first 50 seconds to start the second half. Coach Keeley irate. Not exactly what they just talked about for the last 15 minutes.
No. I would say no.
So just remind them, hey, what did we just talk about literally 5 minutes ago coming out of the break? Remind them, settle back in here, and they understand that no lead is safe against the Royals. But certainly a less than ideal start.
Well, the camera feed has somehow gone out, so we'll switch things up. A little more of a radio style here. The internet's not really doing too hot either here on my laptop. This is Veely, near side wing. Passes it top of the key. Bruner. That was Collins. Now De La Serna matched up 35 against 35. Collins takes it far wing. Comes up, Castro to guard him. De La Cerda back off the top of the arc with 5-4 on the shot clock. 3. De La Cerda can't pull up for 3. Now he heaves it up off the front of the rim. And it's going to be a long rebound. Tracked down by Horn near midcourt. Back to Ever. Lead pass through the key. Up. And it's good for number 4, Charles Neal. As back come the other way, the Spirit now trail by 2. Bruner, baseline, near side. Fights through traffic, kicks it to De La Cerda. Now Vili far wing, puts up a 3. That's squashed down for Vili. Answers the run and puts the Spirit back up by 1 as Neal gets the inbounds pass and walks it back up the floor. Through the near side, it comes to Castro. Sets up a screen from Williams, not taken. Wilson around to the far horn, and Charles Neal. Neal pivots, gets to the free throw line, pop, shoots, and it whips out on him. Rebound over the back was Horn, no call, but that will be a defensive board for Collins. Walking back up the way is Bruner, gets across half court with 22 seconds on the shot clock. Bruner to De La Cerda. Vili will settle it down. Match up against Jelani Horn. Splits the defenders, rises up, and throws it right to number 3 as Rasheed Wilson takes the turnover, pulls up. Sayas is the free from straight away. No off the side of the rim. De La Cerda the board. JJ, this one's going back and forth a little more.
Absolutely, and you mentioned it playing in transition.
All right, so quick restart of the program, and the camera back on for you. JJ, what happened while we were fixing the stream there?
Well, it was Ottawa giving Hope a national taste of their own medicine. Hope drove into the paint, and Bruner was able to clamp down. Coach Check was arguing for a foul call, certainly in case to be made, but it was Bruner who showed off blazing speed, getting inside, getting a deuce, and then we saw a foul called on Ottawa's McKay Bundy as Vili pulls up for 3 right here, misses short off the rim there, and it was Bundy who picked up a foul, allowing a face cut off Jelani Horn, and Jelani Horn knocked down a pair of free throws. 44-41 here, 16:07 remaining. Horn on the post with going to back down Vili this time. Good defense there by Vili, walling up on the interior.
De La Cerda a moment there, but gets it to Bruner, and back the other way come the Spirit, who lead by 3. Layup denied. That's Williams. The heave. Horn. The finish. And the the Hope Royal crowd have some faith, and they make their presence felt again. 1 point, 5 minutes into this one is the gap. De La Cerda, 3, no, and there's Castro. Gives that away to Neal. Jelani Horn, and things settle down a little bit now. Horn quietly now is crossed over to the team lead with 11 points. Wilson through traffic. Good tic-tac-toe, but number 22 can't knock it down. A bobble, but a save for Vili.
Yeah, that last shot by De La Cerda, I understand he can hit it, but he's best working off the catch and shoot wide open instead of dribbling into a shot. Especially after Vili hit a 3. Got to get him a better touch in the paint. As Bruner showing off his strength on the interior. That's the second time in the past 2 minutes where he's showing off his strength in the paint.
Nice little Euro step to the top of the restricted arc and slots it down the net.
You hear Coach Check calling out the high-low, said this is going to be, we're going to try to reverse the ball here, and it's going to be a look to try to set a back screen for Neal.
Takes it, Colton Hitt stayed with him and forces an air ball. And De La Cerda back up to Bruner. 14-13 to go. Bruner tells Hitt to go down baseline. Gets an opening, kicks it to him. Vili, he'll take that shot any day of the week. And he buries it on the near wing. Very willing to shoot is number 10. And Vili has established another short lead for the Spirit. They went down but have gone back ahead. It's 49-33. Full timeout on the floor. We'll take one as well. We'll be back on the GSAC Sports Network with this men's basketball final. here we go as the Spirit and the Royals file back onto the court. The live stats have slowed down on me, but Hope International is still up in the third quarter, 53-47. I don't know if they're on for the double or not tonight because they trail by 6 here, but Bill Check's side has taken a lead in the second half, so they're not out of it by any stretch of the old imagination. Here's Castro, a swipe. It's going to be a foul. Collins or Colton Hitt is the guilty party. It's going to be, Catchings from behind. Collins was the one looking around and hit with the reach from the backside. Second team foul. And the first one hit, almost disrupted the inbound. Wilson rocks back, gets the screen, uses the screen to perfection, but the ball won't fall for him. And that is a strong rebound there for Devin Collins.
Yeah, it looked like he might have got hit on the arm as well on the way up. Certainly asking the official why that wasn't called.
Colton Hitt wants to drive. He's disrupted by Wilson. Running the other way. Christopher to Castro. Lots of contact. And it's Catchings who comes up with the brunt of the contact as he ends up spilling out of bounds. But it'll be Castro to the line, who's up and Cooley to the stripe for a pair.
Yeah, Catchings got that ball clean. It was Bundy who got the body, though. Catchings a bit frustrated. Certainly a beautiful display of athleticism there.
Castro stares down the basket. It's Castro, Williams, Horn, Wilson, and as mentioned, number 12, Christopher out there for the white-clad Royals. Bundy, Catchings, Collins, Hitt, and Rivers out there for the Spirit, who now lead 49-45 as both of those free throws fall in. Rivers. As the clock reaches 13 minutes to go, Collins near wing. Catchings near the baseline. Now drives towards the paint. Good feed. Collins is rejected by Williams, but it's still with Rivers, who lays it up and no good, but Collins again. With scramble play at the net, JJ. My goodness.
Intensity really starting to pick up here. And it really started with that Bruno transition while the video cut out, where he took it 1-on-3, coast to coast.
Castro near elbow. No good. Collins right there. He'll look to run. He gives it to Colton Hitt. Slides through traffic. Collins, his dribble through a triple team and taken away by Castro. I'm not sure if he got the initial block, but he completed the steal. Wilson. That should be a charge as Bundy was outside the restricted arc. And Wilson crawled right up his chest and sent him to the floor.
I tell you what, Bundy's really, he might be my favorite player on the court tonight. I love taking charges as much as the next guy. Well, actually, I'm a little bit crazier, so I'd say I enjoy taking charges a little bit too much. So Bundy, the fact that I've seen this guy take 5 charges in the past 24 hours, certainly love to see that.
Maybe he's got a couple pads of styrofoam taped to his back, though it doesn't look like it with his jersey on, as this is Veely, 2-11. There's the double team in the corner. Pivoting, searching. Nice seam pass. Still Rivers saves it. No turnover yet. Jump ball. Possession arrow favors Hope. And
much ado about nothing there. Should be Royal ball, but I just want to go back to what you just said a couple seconds ago about having some styrofoam on your back. Come on, that's soft. There's no way. Come on now, don't do my guy Bundy like that. He's not. That guy's built Ford tough.
I mean, I'm a Chevy guy myself, but.
Oh, well, maybe that's why you would put styrofoam in your back to take a charge. Unbelievable.
You know, if you can't play, you coach. If you can't coach, you're an SID. What can I say? The pass to Castro over everything. That's out for an inbounds play.
And that was that high-low set that we were talking about a couple of possessions ago before the Royal timeout. As you see, Bundy's going to take a seat here. You saw that high-low set, and we were talking about it during the break. It's really good because it lifts everyone up. It kind of turns – we talk about a 1-3-1 defensive set, but really the offense turns to a 1-3-1. and then you get into the ball into that middle part of the 1-3-1, and there's no one left to help because everyone else is lifted high. So really, really good set.
Now Bilchek is a legend as this is Catchings. And Veely again for 3. No, off the crook of the basket to down. Again, this is his 14th season at the helm. And he helped guide the Royals in 2015 when they last won the tournament all the way to the NAIA National semifinal match. All GSAC affair in that one, as that is Castro, lips out on him. Rebound is off of, they're going to say it's off of Gavin Ramirez last. But unfortunately for the Royals, that one went in favor of Westmont on that day. A jumper with 10 seconds left, pulling off the 70-69 win. But that took everything Westmont had. They got handled in the championship game next time out. But that is the deepest the Royals have gone in the NAIA national bracket. As Rivers with 12 gets it to Collins as he was pressured from behind and all over the place. Catchings, no foul. The Royals are doing a good job of really pressing up and trying to limit how the Spirit pass the ball around the perimeter, but Ottawa somehow found a couple cracks to slip a pass through so far.
Well, it's about the aggression that they're showing, the Royals, that is. They're really pushing out. Every time Ottawa's tried to reverse the ball in the middle third of the floor, they've really pushed the catch out to almost near the logo. So that's really been an issue, but it's because of how they've been switching. So right now, whenever they go to that shuffle set, Collins has done a poor job tonight of slipping towards the ball, because if he can just slip right there, he's going to catch the ball right around the nail, and he's going to be able to operate in the middle third close to the rim, and everyone else is spread out, and he can go one-on-one to the rim.
Horn wants a timeout. And that will be interesting. The board says they have 3 left to the Royals. That will take them down to 2. We've had for the bowl game to go, JJ. That's going to, you got to make the timeouts. You got to try and get the score close to make it close at the end. But that's something where if you're a coach staff in the back of your mind, you're going, man, I wish we didn't have to burn these now.
Yeah, well, that one actually came from Coach Check. Coach Check told Horn to burn the timeout. But Coach Check, from the past 3 years that I've been here, he's burned timeouts early. So he's more than comfortable. We talked about this yesterday a little bit as well. He's more than comfortable playing with 2 timeouts for sometimes the entire second half of games I've seen him do. So more than comfortable being able to do that. So not necessarily worried about him handling his timeouts down near
and what did you say the margin of victory so far in this tournament was for the Royals in 2 games?
3.5.
So they don't really mind that they don't have timeouts down the stretch. They have found ways to win. Ottawa, meanwhile, winning by 20, inflating their stat, as in it was 10 over the Firestorm. So 2 games, 30 points. That's a 15-point average. That will do nicely. That keeps the drama out of things.
It certainly does. And mention the margin of victories, or the margins of victory for either side here. As this game gets down close, obviously Hope in this tournament alone, they have had the experience with a closer game. But on the flip side of things, Ottawa, they have the experience overall in terms of national tournament. They were here last year in a close game, 78-77, I believe the score was in that game over Jessup. But nonetheless,
this will be an inbounds play. This is the largest lead of the night at 8 for either side. Ottawa trying to make it double digits. Royals trying to keep it from growing further, and Williams is going to do that. Nice little hook shot.
It's a really difficult over the length of De La Cerda. Tough shot there by Williams.
And De La Cerda, again, number 35, checks in at 6'8". That is taller than everyone on the Hope lineup. So unless someone's got a big wingspan, they cannot get up to his height. You can't teach that, folks. This is Bruner, step back, doesn't want to shoot. 8 now 7, 6 on the shot clock, runs into a wall of white jerseys. Castro had it, lost it, foul. And it will be Veely picking up the foul. It will be the 15th foul, I believe, on the Spirit. And here comes Neal. Switches to the left hand. And Williams got De La Cerda to bite. Near the blocks, and that's 4 in a row for Tristan Williams.
You could see it on his face right there. He was almost confused with himself, like, why didn't I shoot the first one? Why didn't I shoot the second one? Why didn't I even shoot the third one? Finally shoots it on the fourth look at the rim. Cuts this one to a 4-point game.
There's catchings going up and not being able to finish. My oh my, is the ball suddenly as slippery as a banana peel out there. Past couple times it's been down here to our right, and no one has been able to hold on to the rebound. This time it is a team rebound, and it's defensive, and that allows Neal to bring it up once more for the Royals. Bill Check calls out the play. Neal, free throw, is good. And he created that all himself.
Absolutely, and kind of pointed at you that this was going to be a knockdown shot for Neal. He loves to operate just with the wiggle. As soon as he gets anywhere within 15 feet, you can almost guarantee a bucket for him.
I'm glad the live stream is rolling for you. It looks like the live stats have gone kaput here as they kick off the hands. Out it goes. Turnover. Veely tried to zip it to Catchings. It was a lot closer than he thought. And the Spirit will take a timeout. Is that 8-point lead? Well, it's shrunk to 2. As this is a 53-51 game. A timeout on the floor. We'll take a break here on the Hope Royal and GSAC Sport Networks and come back on the other side of the timeout. The two teams break the huddle. As we come back, it is 53-51. Veely leading the way for the Spirit, 13 points. Meanwhile, the Royals have 17 from Castro, now 11 each from Neal and Horn. Neal, backdoor, Williams. Gets through the key, puts up a shot, and a push is going to be called from the backside referee. 5 team fouls now on the Spirit. And make it a foul on De La Cerda, his first personal. Bounce, up, turns into a pass to Horn. I don't think that's what Gavin Ramirez intended to do, but it worked out for him. He'll try again over Veely, and a foul will be called. 2 shots coming up. He's got 4 points, can make it 6, and the foul on Veely, his third. No, they've called it, yes, Veely's second, excuse me. No, it should be his third. They've got 2 in the box score here.
Yes, it should be his third. Not sure. As they've just corrected it to his third on the board here.
There you go. First one up and in for Ramirez. He came in on the night 58 of 84, 69% straight up from the free throw line. This one to tie it. Oh, well, it was 8. Now it's nothing. And we've got a lot of action coming up in these final 8 minutes. No one has reached a double-digit lead in this one. And no one's been able to stay ahead by a large margin for any extended period of time. That might have been the longest the Spirit have been up by over 5 points in the game as Veely drives and now he draws contact. And after making the free throws, Ramirez picks up the foul. That's his 4th.
And right on cue, Wilson going to head back to the table.
4th team foul. So the Spirit kind of in the iffy department on that end of the scorecard. They're at 6, so the Royals get free throws the rest of the way. That's a little bit of a trip, but not called. And that is almost pickpocketed. Collins still can't hold on to it. And now the steal is completed. Away comes Wilson, fresh off the bench. Circus layup, no. Collins had it, lost it. And he still can't hold on to the rock. It all started with the Royals not allowing a pass in close, and the Heave had to go almost to half court.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a small detail in this game. It's been Ottawa's really inability to win the baseline out of bounds battle. As you see an and one, Castro getting the post up right off the inbound. One of the oldest plays in the book. Just give it right back to the inbounder because usually the person guarding the inbounder is relaxed. Castro steps back in, gets a chance out of and one here.
Collins to the bench for a rest and maybe a towel for his hands, as he has not held on to the ball over the past 30 seconds. And Horn completes the and one. So a tie game now swings to a 3-point lead for the hosting Royals. Catching, Lacerda, Bundy, Veely, and Bruner who makes that catch on the floor there. 2 players go down. And it was Bundy who made the run, and Wilson who's going to get charged with the foul. And it is his 2nd, team's 5th. So the Royals have Williams, Wilson, Neal, Horn, and Castro, the starters out there.
Again, the inability to win the baseline out of bounds battle. Having to catch the ball, not in scoring opportunities.
Try and work the perimeter. Catchings with a catch and shoot. No good. Williams a rebound. Neal. They reach 7 minutes to go. A little shimmy. A shake. And a score on a nice little tiny layup from number 4. 5-point lead might be one of the largest in the night for the Royals. He gives a couple claps as he matches up against Bruner. Driving, catching, Bundy, and that will be a flop warning, and Wilson gets up looking for someone to complain to. Neal helps him walk back towards the bench where he can yell only at his coach and not the referee so he doesn't get a technical. And the foul, the 6th, did they rule it a shooting foul? I don't think so.
No, so there's no foul in that situation. They're just going to call the flop in the middle play. Usually
it's not even a warning. It just is a flop.
Yeah, that's the new rule this season where instantly there's no more warnings. It's just the second you get one, it's a class, I believe they call it a Class B technical foul. The officials were explaining it to us. But usually the officials wait until the end of the play to administer the flop in terms of blowing the play dead. Usually they let the play go through, and then at the end they'll call it a warning.
Which is weird because I think they came over to the scores table this year and told us about a flop warning a couple of times, even though I do know they then did a play like that. So
yeah.
Interesting. So 1 on the board off the free throw. De La Cerda can't make the 3. Wilson scrambles to the loose ball. Zips it to Neal.
Neal's starting to get loose right now, so he wants him and Castro, 2 of their better scorers.
This time he doesn't take the screen and hit. Gets the loose ball, completes the steal as Neal left it behind him. Bruner saw the pass go behind him. Lead pass to Neal. Didn't want to save it.
Whoa, a heady play by Neal. He caught the ball out of the air and tried to call timeout while it was in the air. Neal thinking he got it off. Official said his foot was out before he went to make the save.
I mean,
it's a close play, but man, we've seen it all today, Justin, and we still got 6 to play.
Well, what are you going to do about that, though? That's a hard one. You're already looking that he's falling out of bounds. So I get why the referee instantly just said out. Plus his hand was on the ball. He can't really form a T. As this will be...
Well, he can verbally say it, though. That's the thing.
It's true. De La Cerda to Bruner, 10 on the shot clock. Runs into Wilson. Can't go that way. Comes back the other way now with 5 on the shot clock. Crosses over. Rolls it. Colton hits. Strip foul. Charles Neal looks a little disappointed. That is because it is his second personal foul on the team's 6. And Colton hit to the free throw line. He is 50 of 78 entering the night, 64.1%. Hope now up 9 in the women's game. That's with 3 minutes to go. And they'll rally back, though. Knock out the Lions last night. Can't cancel out the home side just yet.
Even a bigger shock in that game. And Hope having the energy after a triple overtime marathon last night over Westmont, withstanding Barabe's 40-piece. Certainly an impressive job by the Royals heading into this tournament.
Yeah, one of them getting the automatic qualifier. That will, as that Neal no good, De La Cerda the board, will make some other teams across the country who are on the bubble upset, because an automatic spot that they might have gotten as an art-large will go to the championship winner. Bruner scores. Layup coast-to-coast smooth as buttered toast. And that will tie the game at 58 all again. No leads mistakes tonight, JJ.
Absolutely not, but it's been a fun one so far. I mean, just thinking about all the hustle plays that we've seen here in the second half, the energy that has really picked up. Certainly going to be a fun final 5-10.
Yeah, what else can you want and or expect from a tournament final? I don't think you were going to get an 18-0 run like the Spirit used to knock down Westmont.
No, definitely not going to see that, especially because, I mean, it's the GSAC. GSAC, one of the best conferences in the entire country. I mean, two teams just throwing haymakers at each other right now. Certainly a fun heavyweight bout between. I mean, the fact is that this is the 5 seed and the 3 seed, too. I mean, it's not like we got the 1 and the 2 seed in here, knocking it out. Two teams are like, well, yeah, they're the best 2 teams in the conference. No, like, that's how deep this conference is. Just the fact that you have the 5 seed showing that, hey, they could have been the 1 seed with ease. So, certainly a fun one.
And then after this gets done this weekend, the rest of the conferences around the NAIA Nation finish up their tournaments. Later in the week, you will hear who makes the NAIA National Tournament. Again, the winner of this one automatically goes with Arizona Christian, and then it just comes down to what the National Ranking Committee thinks of the potential resumes for the loser of this one, as well as the Masters, who was the number 2 team in the conference at the end of the regular season, but lost to Hope last night. One and done in the tournament, just like the Firestorm. Last year again, plenty of teams for the GSAC ended up making the national tournament, so there's a good chance that happens again.
Yeah, well, I mean, they put us all in the same region, though, so, I mean, National Tournament Committee certainly, did a number on us. I mean, we just beat each other up the entire season, and now you're going to put us in Ottawa and Idaho and then put Hope up at Jessup. It's certainly an interesting conversation, and I'm sure would happen at the tournament this year.
Good rotation there by the Spirit on their man D, as they stuck with the rhythm of the Hope offense. Jelani Horn trying to spin his way through to the basket. Oh my, he did. He's looking for an and one too, but that was a pretty shot if you've ever seen one. Something out of nothing. Bruner halts right at the 3-point arc. Now backs up a little bit. Stretched along the baseline are the Spirit. Paint, short jumper, no. De La Cerda tipped it. Oh, Bruner tripped, and then Catchings stole the rebound away from the Royals in a fresh shot clock.
Again, slipping a little bit on the court. It's been a conversation point throughout this tournament as Bruner tries to flex through the contact inside.
That's the right call. Bruner touched it last. He's not going to want that, but referee right there, and he did get a finger to it, as with 4 fouls back on the floor comes Gavin Ramirez. Little chips on the table for him as Wilson takes a bereaver on the bench.
Yeah, he did not want to come out either. He was telling Coach Check, I am good. Keep me in this game.
Well, who wants to come out with 4 minutes in the title game? 4 minutes might feel like an eternity to a player who's locked in. It's probably seconds, as Horn Goes one way, drives baseline, no, whips out. De La Cerda couldn't poke it free. Jump ball, yes, it is. And the possession arrow goes to the Spirit as De La Cerda from behind couldn't grab the rebound, but stuck his paw in there to hold on to it and force the tie-up. The Spirit bring back Veely. And they've got Bundy and Hit as well. Those three can shoot it from anywhere. Bruner and De La Cerda.
Watch the throwback action. There it is.
Trail by 2. Down low, De La Cerda. That's straight off the whiteboard.
I wanted to talk about that. Where De La Cerda, he really hadn't been shooting inside. It's been a lot of left wing three-pointers from De La Cerda. I don't believe the ball was touched. It hits on the floor. And a quick foul send Neal to the line for 1-and-1. I don't believe that ball was tipped. Official thought otherwise. But going back to the last possession for Ottawa, right now you can see a theme developing. I'm shocked that Hope hasn't picked up on it. Anytime, so they have their shuffle set, right? Anytime De La Cerda has been on the right wing, they've gone through with the shuffle. But when he's been in the trail in the middle third, it's been the throwback action to the right side where they're trying to get a little rub screen, act like they're going to the shuffle, throw it right back to where the ball came from, get De La Cerda posted up on the block. So just a little film study for there, Justin.
This is why I have you on, JJ Johnson, because you can break it down like I cannot. And why you have made such a great companion to me and Jared Rowe. Hope you all enjoyed his broadcasting the past couple of nights. He's also another good one on the rise as Neal knocks the first one down. It's the second personal on Colton Hit. 8th team foul against the Spirit. 2 makes it a 2-point lead. Next foul by the Royals puts them at 7, so 1-and-1 going the other way.
We're going to go right back to it if it ain't broke. This time, Hit, try to drive it up. Oh, nice play by Wilson and a touch pass from Horn.
Away comes Wilson, leaves it to Castro. He scores. Beautiful transition movement from the Royals to find the open man. And the lead goes out to 4. Well, last year the Spirit came back and got a foul at the buzzer. De La Cerda giving him the win. So 2 minutes and counting. 2:40. Is that Bruner? No good. Gets his own rebound. That should have been a foul. Doesn't get it. This time he will. So don't count the Spirit as down and out until the buzzer sounds and there's no whistles. That will be a foul against Jelani Horn, his second. And the team's 7th, but that was a shooting motion, so 2 shots straight up for Bruner, who's at 12 points. One below. Is that one no good? As Veely leading the way for the Spirit with 13. Though he has not scored in a long time, as now the Hope crowd thunders on the bleachers, and that's 2 misses, but a rebound for Bundy and another foul, and Horn thought it was going to be a 1-and-1. He'll be disappointed. Is that his 3rd foul? Yes, it is. Catchings will switch out with Bundy.
That'll be Veely chucking out of the game.
Sorry, yes.
Bundy at the line now. For the 1-and-1.
He gets a second bonus shot. He is unfazed by the loud stomping of the Hope faithful.
Yeah, just a 68% free throw shooter, though, on the season.
No one else in real foul trouble. Only Ramirez has 4. Both Veely and now Horn have 3. Everyone else is under that. Team fouls, of course, are both at 8 apiece. Those will probably count up to 10 pretty rapidly, especially if we're still at a small gap like it is now in 2 minutes' time. This is Wilson. The free throw is too strong. And a rebound for Bruner after initial tip by Bundy. Searching for the tie. Could take the lead if they really wanted to. Bundy. Almost a travel. Oh, they got him. They say he planted and pivoted a little too much and lifted the other foot. He's saying he didn't. I thought that looked close, JJ. That's one maybe in a title game you let go, but at the same time, it's the rule.
I think in terms of fouls, you can let fouls go, but the travel right there, it was close, certainly. Next play.
Ramirez into the game. He's switching out with Wilson, and this is Horn. No tip. Colton hit. Rescues it. Under 2 minutes to go, and this one is still anyone's championship to win as Bruner drives. No shot and a foul. He'll go to the line for a 1-and-1. Is it Ramirez?
Wilson is begging to be back in the game. He checked out. Remember, we talked about the 4-minute marker. He was saying, Coach, I'm good. Let me stay in the game. And right now he just got subbed out again, pleading his case to be let back in the game right now. But Horn just picked up his fourth. You mentioned Bruner, the 80% free throw shooter, missed 2 in a row last time. We're at the 1-and-1 situation.
I think Wilson knows he's coming back in. I think he's just talking about what to do with Coach Bilczek, as he will come and get Ramirez.
Well, during the whole last offensive possession, he was telling Coach, you have to let me sub back in the game right now. And able to finally get his wish.
Well, that's a tie game with 1:45 to go. Bruner this time injects the ice into his veins and knocks them both down with switches. Timeout. Horn and Czech both want it, and they will both get it. So that will take us to 1:37 to go. Both teams had 2 timeouts before Bilczek took that one, so he is now down to 1 timeout. 19 fouls on the Royals. So the next one will give the Spirit 2 chances the rest of the way. Ottawa at 18 fouls and 2 timeouts. The women's contest for you has gone final, and the Royals have done it. They win 90-73. So the Hope International Royals have won basketball championship already on their belt as the women come through the bracket to win and automatically qualify for the NAIA National Tournament. The men trying to do the same, but the Spirits stand in the way. Some other scores for you. Georgetown beating Cumberland 83-52. They were a national champion a couple years ago, so they're going in the Mid-South Conference. Columbia over William Woods. Grace beat Marion in the Crossroads League semifinals. Let's see anyone else of note. Indiana Tech beating Rochester. Bethel beating Sterling. Southwestern over Oklahoma Wesleyan. Dort beating Morningside in a 1-point game. And Indiana South Bend winning by 2 over St. Xavier to claim the CCAC title. Jamestown will be the other GPAC school to take on Dort as they beat Concordia, Nebraska 95-77. LSU Shreveport has reached the finals in the RRAC. The American Midwest will see Central Baptist in there. Evangel is in the Heart of America tournament. They lost to Peru State by 5, 76-71. They will take on William Penn, who at the moment is beating Baker 90-81. Turnover, Bruner slides. I was watching some rugby earlier. That's a scrum if you've ever seen one on the basketball floor. Everyone stands up without any difficulties. Wilson.
Oh, wow. A push is called.
Wilson is incredulous. And it's going to be Castro who picks up the foul, his second. 2 shots the other way. Jessup fans will say the refs handed the tournament to the Spirit last year. And now the Hope fans might start wondering the same thing if things like that keep happening. But a pile of bodies, JJ. The referees decided to go for the contact instead of the tie-up.
Yeah, well, there certainly was a tie-up. It's just a matter of which one happened first, because you also have the, as Bruner knocks down the first one in the double bonus here, certainly a case to be made for the tie-up happening before, but it's a 50-50 call. The backside ref actually came in and overruled the jump ball ref, saying he had the push from behind, landing on top of him with the foul call happening first. Bruner 2 for 2 clutch free throws there.
The leads on the teeter-totter. Falls back to the Spirit side. Fans starting to stand around Darling Pavilion as we're down to 1:20 to go. Charles Neal can't get a shot away. One timeout for the Royals to work with. Finds it open. Williams, no, and a rebound for Colton Hitt.
Great find there by Neal.
Delicate touch. Got it to 35, who couldn't finish.
They're going to get to a horn set here. It's going to be Bundy and De La Cerda lifted high. They're going to just try to use that to get into their flow.
With a minute to go.
But Bundy just vacated A little bit of confusion on the floor right now.
Bruner,
charge! And what? He was in the restricted area.
Oh, I thought the ref was pointing for the charge, pointing towards Neal, who was on the deck. Neal, his third. Or no, excuse me, Ramirez. That's his fifth. So Gavin Ramirez fouls out of the game with 6 points and 5 fouls. The Royals get the courtesy quick consultation timeout, as the fifth personal foul man will check out, and Wilson will join Williams, Castro, Horn, and Neal. My apologies, folks. I thought the ref was pointing to the charge. It looks eerily similar with the point to the fist going the other way.
Certainly a big play there. I mean, just game of inches right here. I mean, Ramirez left foot just barely on the edge of the arc for the restricted area. And nonetheless, with Bruner trying to make this a 5-point game here. Still plenty of time for the Hope International side. Got to think maybe get the ball inside to Horn. This is the 5-point game. Get the ball to him on a face cut. Bundy has fallen asleep a couple of times in the weak side, and it's allowed Horn to get inside.
This one certainly not done, as there's Wilson. He wanted to come in. Shows why. Puts up a 2 off the glass with 40 seconds to go. The Spirit can take their time. Will Bilczek ask for a foul? It's 2 shots regardless. As Wilson now comes up, gets into his crouch. Bruner dribbles left, cuts back to his right foot. Front foul will stop the clock with 29.8. Wilson his third. Bruner, well, there's a reason they've given him the rock, as he is going to be asked to make more free throws. End of the night again, 80.9. Should have brought up the box scores from the other games for this tournament, as OUAZ has certainly hit down a number of free throws. That one also up and good. That was their calling card to help win last time. 32 of 42 in the tournament so far. 76%. No on the second. 4 points in 30 seconds. Charles Neal, will they call a timeout or just try and go for it? No timeout coming. It's Jelani Horn. Crossover dribble into the paint. Far blocks. No good.
What a block by Bundy.
Loose ball found by Colton Hitt, and he falls down on a foul. And the Spirit fans starting to get loud. It's 4 points and 16 seconds. And the possession count is starting to diminish the hopes for the Royals.
What a defensive play there by Bundy.
That was Horn's move down the far side of the blocks, went up, and it just wouldn't fall for him. That will help the Royals there. There are 6 players on the court. Now there are 5. As for a second, Kalen Murray came in, and then he quickly came back off for Caleb Christopher. Johnny Horn cherry picking down to our left. Good. And Colton Hitt makes 1 of 2. That will turn the proverbial screw to make this one quite mathematically very unlikely for Hope, but you never know.
Come on.
With the free throw game, and a 3 could change things quite quickly. So we're not going to put anything on the bracket in pen just yet.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you mentioned he was tightening the screw a little bit, but it's not the nail in the coffin, I'll tell you that. There's certainly plenty of time here with 16.2 remaining. We saw yesterday between the Masters and Hope International, the mindset, if you want to get a quick 2 versus the 3, Masters went for the 3, cut the game to a 2-point game. Then Hope missed a free throw, actually, one of their 2 free throws, and that made a 3-point game. Masters ended up missing thanks to a Horn block shot at the end of the game to help Hope even get to this point right now. But as they have to go the length of the floor right here, 1 timeout left for them. You get a quick bucket, then you burn your timeout, depending on if it's a 2 or a 3. Man, this is such a good game, Justin. We've had it all. I mean, everyone's been on the floor. Emotions have been running high as well.
Christopher told he can run the baseline. Ottawa with some token pressure to try and waste a few more seconds. Charles Neal into the front court. Almost faces a double team. Good screen. No shot. And they're going to call a foul against Collins. His first, team's ninth. De La Cerda will check back in, taking Collins out. And Murray checks back in, the junior guard from Los Angeles, LaSalle College Prep, his last school. And Veely will come on as well, taking out catching. So, Bundy, Veely, hit. De La Cerda, Bruner for the Spirit. Williams, along with Christopher Horn. Or excuse me, no Horn. Neil Castro. And 7, 6, 5, foul. And aside from Charles Neal, and he looks down, realizing that probably was the best chance. If he makes that one, earns a second, then I think you're right. They execute the game plan with the timeout, start the fouling. Now Veely potentially here can ice it.
Yeah, tough right there is Veely. Tough for Neal. I mean, came in out of the regular season shooting 73% from the line, but Veely, we mentioned, you're going to foul, you foul him because as good as a three-point shooter he is from the free throw line, he's not one of their better ones.
No good on both, but time is running out. 4 with 3, and with 2 and 1. It's good. The buzzer beater is good. It won't matter because it's only 3, and the Spirit were up by more than that. And for the second time in a row, the Spirit have owned Darling Pavilion in the men's basketball tournament. A repeat for Ottawa as the men's basketball GSAC tournament champions.
Absolutely spectacular game here, Justin. Back-to-back champs in this tournament. Not something you see very often. Getting ready to cut down the nets as well.
That was some gutsy play from the Spirit to exercise the Royals, who had beaten them once at home and the second time soundly here. And Hope, with the home crowd behind him, will walk back to the locker room. They have hopes of a national tournament berth, and I would think so, considering that they reached the final game here, knocking off the number 2 seed. And they will just have to wait for everything to pan out. But the Spirit have not only grabbed a second trophy in their appearance in the tournament, but have punched their ticket again to the NAIA National Tournament. That is growing a program from someone that, when Coach Keeley and company brought the Spirit into the conference, they were, we'll be honest, they were not that tough for most teams. And the first couple years were double-digit wins or under. But since then, it has been progress defined. And Marlborough was here last year, helped them win it. He's not, but De La Cerda and Colton Hitt were all part of last year's team, as was Keyshawn Bruner. And they have, once again, helped this Ottawa side to a 71-79 victory. 18 points on the board for Bruner, especially a lot of free throws down the stretch. 7 points for Bundy, 8 for Devin Collins. And number 21, as Catchings contributed 5 for Colton Hitt, including a free. That was it. What else you got on the final stat sheet there? The live stats have been not being kind to Robert Nielsen. Oh, they're back up. Uh-huh.
Oh, they clonked out on me a few minutes ago.
Well, the Spirit, as they get ready to receive their trophy, shot 40% from the floor, 22 of 54. 7 of 24 from deep, that's 29.2%. And 71.4% from the free throw line, 20 of 28. The Royals, 12 of 13 from the stripe, 3 of 16 from downtown, 18%, and 27 of 60, 45% from the field. Both of those numbers well below what they did the 2 matchups in the regular season, but That is how things panned out in a closer matchup here in the final. 14 turnovers for the Spirit resulted in 15 HIU points, 9 Royal turnovers, 14 OUAZ points, 34-31. The rebound battle favored the Spirit. 10-6 offensive and 28-25 defensive. 10 assists for the Spirit, 11 for the Royals, who also had 4 blocks in the game, 9 steals to 4 for the Spirit. Bench points, 15 to Ottawa, 6 for the Royals. Second chance points narrowly in favor of the Spirit, 9-6 as well. Points in the paint favoring HIU, 36-22. Bruner, again, with 20 points, actually. 8 of 11 from the stripe, 6 of 13 from the field. Alex Veely, 13 points, 3 of 9 from downtown, and 1 other field goal, 2 free throws. 4 of 10 was De La Cerda for 9 points, 7 rebounds. 8 points for Devin Collins, 3 of 5 from the field, 2 free throws. 2-6 was catchings, both threes, and then 2 free throws, 2 assists, and 8 points. 2 rebounds, 1 assist. 7 points for Bundy, 3 of them from the charity stripe, 6 points for Colton Hitt. Rivers had 2 shots, came up empty. Sebastian Castro, what a game. 25 points, 10 of 14 shooting, 4 free throws, 8 rebounds, and an assist. 15 points, Charles Neal, 5 of 11 from the field, 1 3. 1 3 also for Jelani Horn, 5 of 12, 13 points. But that certainly is not what he was used to this year. Gavin Ramirez and Tristan Williams each with 6 points. Williams 0 for 5 from downtown. And he did grab 7 rebounds, though. 6 rebounds for Sheet Wilson, 4 points. And Caleb Christopher went 0 for 1. JJ, trophy to come next. Your final thoughts here on an entertaining matchup.
Well, I mean, you mentioned the box score between Bruner and Billy really leading the way, but it was really the steady scoring. I mean, everyone who did score for the Spirit scored at least 6 points, so that's a very balanced scoring output from them. And it was like that in the first half. I know we talked about at the top, whoever's going to win the turnover battle, is going to win this game. And it was looking that way early where Ottawa was up with the turnover battle going in their favor, but then they just found a way there at the end. And I think one of the more underrated players in this game has to be McKay Bundy. I mean, what he did, aside from just his 7 points and 6 boards, 2 assists, I mean, he really had some really pivotal defensive possessions, whether it was him taking the charge or it was the block shot he had on Horn just off the top of his fingertips. So certainly a great job there. Underrated for sure. Billy did a great job yesterday, but I think today you got to give the nod to McKay Bundy for what he did on the defensive end of the floor. Also, he got their offense going with that and one in the first half. So great job by him. And mentioned final thoughts. Pleasure to do this with you, Justin, this tournament, but I'm going to be so happy to not do this with you next year when I'm playing in it. So, I mean,
That's right.
A little bittersweet, but absolutely going to look forward to being on this court next year with the Vanguard Lions.
That's right. He is not only a stellar color commentator and broadcaster, but one of the Vanguard Lion players. I'm one of the SIDs at Vanguards. So, no biases here tonight on the broadcast. Just wanted a good game, and we got it. It came down to the wire, and here comes Coach Keeley through his charges.
Oh, look at the moves. Uh-oh, what's he doing? Oh, they're not going to announce his name. Okay, what the? A little icky shuffle there from Coach Keeley.
He's loving it. From entering the conference to winning the tournament twice in a row, what a job has he done for this Ottawa side. As they will now wait as Commissioner Mike Daniels grabs the trophy. The Royals hold their head high, finishing second, and their women did win. So they will be bringing some hardware home. But tonight it's the Spirit who will collect the trophy, and they will take that back with pride and joy all the way back to Surprise, Arizona. The Nets will come down, and they will see where they end up in the opening round of the 2022-2023 Men's Basketball NAIA National Tournament. The opening round sites have been announced, and the field will be set later this week. When all the conference tournaments are done, the at-larges are made. That will do it, though, for GSAC basketball here in 2022-2023. The Firestorm, your regular season champs. The Spirit, your tournament champs. And the Mustangs and the Royals will hope to get an at-large bid. The trophy is up, and the celebrations are on. Justin Burtis saying thank you so much for watching. On behalf of JJ Johnson, it's been a pleasure on Tournament Lawn, as well as Jared Rohn. We hope you have a great time watching the NAIA National Tournament. wherever your teams end up. And hopefully you'll be back next year for another round of exciting GSAC basketball when you'll set to return here. The journey will begin for the 23-24 tournament title. Until then, Justin Burtis saying good night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone.